Today we have Ryan Daughtridge and his son Roark with us on the soccer ladder with Lee and me. Roark plays on the U14 DC United Academy as a goalie, and Ryan is the founder of Ringers Football. So we have a lot to talk about today. I know you guys have heard me say this before, but I started the soccer ladder because I'm a soccer mom. Liam's just finishing up his first year with Red Bull Academy. It's an amazing journey, but it's overwhelming and there's so many questions. So I thought, what better than to start this and have parents and players and pro players, former pro players, coaches come on and share their insights and advice with everyone else. So, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I think it's a genius thing. I think everyone's looking for this kind of information and dialogue. So
Thank you. Thank you. So, I think Liam is going to kick it off with some questions for you, Rourke.
What's it like playing at DC United Academy?
It's good. I really like the atmosphere, and all the coaches are really nice. I think it's definitely more intense than all the clubs I've been on before and stricter, but I like the experience and I like the challenge.
Real quick, so where did you play? What was your journey before going to DC United Academy?
So when I was really little, I started at a team called Liverpool FC in Hagerstown, Maryland, just a very little club. And then I went to another it was a bit bigger, but still little club called Barcelona, Maryland. And after that, I went to Pipeline Soccer Club, and then I went to DC after that.
Very cool. Well, congrats.
his journey was very much a soccer ladder. That's one of the things I sort of thought about with one of your questions. It was just kind of like step by step, and it continues.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We can understand that one.
And what about you guys? What about you, Liam? Where did you play before Red Bulls?
So I played Rourke said, I played at a little city team. It's called MSC, and from there I didn't really we all didn't really like the coaching, so we moved to a team called Med Oval. They let me try out with Red Bull, and then I made it to Red Bull.
Yeah, so you did the
RDS.
RDS with Red Bull, then the pre-academy, and now you're finishing
Academy.
your first year. So we've actually been with Red Bull
4 years.
almost 4 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
No, you're a good player. I've seen your clips.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
so nice. Oh my, well, we'll have to come and watch Rourke play.
Well, maybe we'll play you sometime.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
What advice do you have for rising academy players?
I'd say probably just you got to stick with it because there's a lot of ups and downs. Like you're always gonna get knocked down, but you just got to get back up. And yeah, I think you just got to stay with it and just go with the flow.
One of my favorite sayings is get knocked down 7 times, stand up 8. You always got to just keep going. Definitely hard times.
How do you manage your time, like with school, practice, and with your friends?
It's definitely harder than most people's lives, but I think you just gotta not spend too much time just on your phone on Instagram and try to get as much stuff as you can in. And I gotta go to school, and then after school I try to get in some recovery and time with my friends if I can, and then I go to practice and get home really late. So I think you just gotta try to pack in as much as you can while just not getting burnt out.
Do you still go to like a public or private school, or do you homeschool?
Yeah, so I went to a private school this year, but next year I'm going to the school with DC United.
Okay.
Yeah, next year that they require everyone's going to be there, which will be nice because he'll actually be home in the evenings. So that's something we're looking forward to.
Yeah, I didn't know at what age it kind of starts to change, like the school academy life. Lee, do you have any thoughts on time management?
Starting next year, I'm going to be training basically every day. So sometimes I get mad because this year, Fridays was my day off, and my mom had to schedule podcasts. So that took a little time out of my off days. which I was a little bad about that, but it's all
So,
right.
yeah, we're trying to we're trying to figure out how to manage friend time in this busy schedule academy life.
It's been a sacrifice for Rourke. I mean, he's very social. He's got a lot of friends, and I know his friends miss him. And I think at some point, as it gets more serious, you really do. I mean, you see so many videos, professional athletes talking about this, but it's just there comes a point where you just can't do the stuff that everyone else is doing sometimes. And you have to be rested the next day, and you have to be fresh for practice, and that's the tough part. I mean, that's part of the sacrifice, I think, of success, or especially at this age. So that's been tough, and I see it in Rourke's face sometimes, like, oh, I want to go do what they're doing, but I practice or I have a game early tomorrow or something. So
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I think what you just said is spot on, and I think every one of our guests have talked about like the sacrifices they had to make along the way. Definitely there has to be like a love and passion for these kids to continue on and make these sacrifices.
So this is for both of you. Uh, how do you, in your family, maintain a balance between high level competition and just enjoying the game?
So my whole family is really competitive, so even like soccer games in the barn get really intense, but I think I think we do slow it down a bit when we're just playing with like my little brothers, but it definitely does still get competitive.
yeah, I mean, I have a philosophy that being competitive is good, but also going with the flow is important. And so, you know, it's a game. We love games. Like we would play these games when the kids were little, where we would shoot baskets outside, and we would say like, "Hey, here's the deal. We're not going to go on until we make 10 in a row," and that's the game. And it's competitive, but it's fun. And we would stick to it just to prove to ourselves that we could do it. But at the end of the day, it was fun, and the competitive piece is fun. And so I think we just love the sport. We play a lot. I play, they play, we play together. It's, you know, most of the time he's playing, you know, in a very serious setting, and I'm playing with a bunch of old guys. But a lot of times we're playing together, and I don't know, we're just addicted to playing, I guess, and that's why it's always fun.
For sure. So, Rourke, you have younger brothers,
Yeah, I have two younger brothers. One is 10 and one's 7.
and do they play soccer as well?
One plays basketball more than soccer, and the other is still just like deciding which one he likes more.
Let's shift gears because I love what you guys have created. So let's talk about Ringers football. What inspired you to launch Ringers football, and how does it reflect your personal journey in the soccer world?
I'm kind of an entrepreneur and brand person, and I've always wanted to start a soccer company because I've always been a soccer player. I've ended up in different industries, most significantly in the skateboard world for a long time, where I was always kind of like a soccer player pretending to be a skateboarder. And anyone who watches this and knows me from those days, they're going to laugh. But this is something I've always wanted to do. And when I was younger, I didn't know how. And now, that I'm a bit older, and in our life is just more consumed with soccer than ever before, it made sense to me. And so I said, hey, we should finally do this. So we started very small. Um, we literally just like sponsored a team in a local tournament and just made jerseys for them. And we called it Ringers Football. And from there, I just saw it. I just felt it like it's something we should start doing. And we worked and played and goofed around and talked about like what kind of clothes we would like to wear. Um, and it's just been building ever since.
So what year did you start Ringers football?
Yeah, well, actually, it was about 2 years ago we did the tournament sponsorship. So call it 2 years.
And for those that don't know about Ringers football yet, we're definitely going to link everything in our bio and everywhere. But tell everyone what Ringers football is and You guys have a really cool story on what you do with the donation and all the goodness. So if you could share that as well.
Yeah, so the basic idea was that um, I traveled the world a bit, throughout my life, and lived in places like Africa, traveled around South America, and I would always take a ball with me because I just would make friends by just walking into the square and starting to juggle the soccer ball. And what I learned was that there's so many people in the world that don't have a ball, or who, can't even afford a ball, much less shoes or shin guards or things like that. And so I sort of developed this little habit of taking balls with me places and then leaving them behind when I went with whoever I met. And so when we had this idea to start a brand, I just felt like I don't want to start another company that's just for profit, and it needs to have some. As I get older, I'm, I guess, probably more reflective, and I'm like, I need it to have a function more than just commerce, right? And so we had this idea to donate balls, and so we went. Um, I have a lot of experience sourcing products overseas, and so we went and found a good ball manufacturer, got a good price, and then we started working on the brand. And everything we made, we basically built the cost of a ball into the item. So for those who look at our website and think our stuff is a little expensive, well, that's because the cost of a ball is kind of built in.
So wait, say that again, the donation part about the ball.
So I'll show you.
Yeah, please do.
We have balls, and for everything we sell, we donate one of these balls. And this is like a decent PU leather ball. We tested a lot. We wanted to make sure we weren't donating total crap that was going to explode the first time someone kicks it against a wall or something. So basically, yeah. So it's you see a lot of brands doing kind of stuff like this now, but the idea is when you buy something from us, we donate a ball to someone, the child in need somewhere.
I love that.
Wow.
We donate to kids in the U.S. We donate to kids in South America, Africa. We're doing a thing in Jamaica coming up. And basically, we're just getting balls to people who literally couldn't otherwise have one. And the name Ringers is actually coming from that idea, because we think of like these kids with less opportunity as being ringers, coming from an unexpected background, showing up as a baller. And so a lot of people are confused by the name. What does it mean? I don't get it. What's a ringer? And some people know it, some people don't. But that's the idea, is that we're supporting kind of future ringers.
Liam actually is wearing one of your shirts today. If you can sit up straight.
Yeah, Roark, that's funny. Roark was going to wear that same shirt.
So,
I love the shirt.
yeah, this is like one of his favorite shirts. And then is this one of your newer designs? I actually have on one as well. I hope my hair is not like covering.
Yeah, we did. We're adding things all the time, but that was something we added for like we call it the supporters collection. So parent stuff. My wife came up with that shirt. Just soccer, 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 coffee, soccer.
Tell her good job because I love the color. I'm always all about like soccer and coffee, my two favorite things. So, and actually, some of our favorite gear, I see it up behind you, are the sweatpants and the sweatshirt.
Yeah.
We absolutely
Cozy.
the cream. We have the cream and the like the brownish.
Brownish.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are cozy.
love that.
Those are fluffy.
Yeah, I worked in fashion for quite a while. I worked at Ralph Lauren in New York, Under Armour in Baltimore, and I think one thing that I tried to do from the very beginning was go find the very best stuff. It was like, I don't know how we're going to grow the brand. I don't know if anyone's going to buy it, but when they do, if and when they do, I want them to be, pleasantly surprised by the quality. And I felt like if we do that, then eventually it will work. And so that's the idea, I think, behind especially the fleece. I think I went to like 60 factories and had prototypes made, and finally found one that I liked.
Wow. And do you make everything right there?
So we buy the blanks. So we work with factories to get the blanks, but we don't put any graphics on them, and we do everything in-house for that. So we have embroidery machines, printing presses,
Love it. Love it.
And that gives us a lot of flexibility to be creative. So we have, 8 colors of hoodies, but we can try new graphics. We can embroider things. We can, you got something with the number embroidered on it. We can do a lot of things, and we're still kind of experimenting all the time with that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You got your numbers on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so cool. Such a good idea. So, Rourke, do you help your dad? Are you a co-founder of the company?
Kinda. I help him give ideas, and I help in the shop sometimes. But
So, how has your experience together, or how has your experience with Rourke influenced how you approach product design, branding, or community with ringers?
I mean, I think we both looked at our peers and we said, what would a brand look like that we'd be proud to give these friends of ours? So for me, it's the soccer parents. And when I look across the soccer sideline, I don't see parents wearing soccer stuff a lot. But I think, I saw parents wearing brands like Viore, um, things that aren't related to soccer, and I felt like, wow, there's an opportunity there because all these parents want nice stuff, but there's nothing. You go to the soccer store and there's jerseys and there's warm up jackets and things like that, but there's nothing like a Viore or a Lululemon for soccer. And so, if you look behind me here, like our line of parent stuff is sort of at that caliber, but it's soccer themed. You have your little soccer field logo on the back. You can put your number on it. The brand, everything is a soccer reference, subtle, but it's a soccer reference. And then I think for Rourke, we looked at the brands he likes, Essentials.
Essentials, did you say that?
Essentials.
Yeah.
And we looked at those brands, and I was like, we could make things like that. And so a lot of what we've done has been just inspired by stuff that we think is cool.
I love that it's made in the USA, and I love the mission, and we love the style, of course.
Like I really like that red one behind Rourke.
Roar, can you grab one of the sweatshirts and bring it up to the camera?
That's a rain jacket.
That's a rain jacket.
Oh, that's cool. Look at
Wow,
that.
I really like that.
Okay, so I think Liam, we're gonna have to grab that for Liam.
So everything we do has the soccer field either on the hood or on the neck. And my thing is, I just really think people like to identify as soccer players. And so that little touch, you're standing in line at the coffee shop and you just feel like, I'm a soccer player. If you know, you know.
So, and then can the number be customized to their child's number?
Yeah, so that's one of the things we can do because we make everything here. So we can offer a lot of customization. And we're still playing with how to do that, where to put the number, how big or small people want it. But yeah, I mean, I think we talk about that a lot. Everyone has a number. You always have a favorite number. I have my number that I grew up with. He's got his number he's starting to like. And then parents have the number of the kid they're watching. And so even if it's subtle on the sleeve or something, there's this feeling of like, I'm rocking the number, I'm supporting my kid, or I'm supporting my identity.
Yeah, it's true. That is so spot on. If I were to think about what the parents or the moms are wearing, I mean, moms or dads, but the moms are wearing, it is. It's like Lululemon. It's not stuff. Yeah, I love this idea.
Increasingly, we're all living this life as like hardcore soccer people, and it feels like a missing thing. Like when I see someone wearing whatever, like a yoga brand to a soccer game, I just think it's weird that there's nothing for you to wear that's soccer related as much as you're a soccer person.
And there's nothing better than supporting a small business too. I'm like all about small business. I actually owned a small business. I still do technically. So I get it, and I love and I shop small. Shop small as much as I can.
Thanks. Yeah, somebody's got to support all the crazy people who do this stuff.
I know how it goes, man. You wear a mini hat, long hours. I know the hustle and grind. How did you decide to become a goalie?
so when I was young, of course, just play at every position because there wasn't really goals. It was just pug goals. But me and my dad used to play in the backyard a lot, and he didn't really like me shooting on him. So he just
This
got me. I mean, he just got him to shoot on me, and eventually, like in a few years, he was shooting full powered at me, and I could save it, and then just
that's
kept
that's
growing.
that's kind of true. I mean, he liked playing goalie, and he always wanted to be in the goal. So I remember always joking like, "This is a win-win. I can shoot. You just stand in there and try to stop it." I love that. And it was kind of a joke, but he loved the challenge, and I would just increase the shot speed. And probably by the time he was 9, I was like shooting full speed. And so the repetition of doing that every day, you know, just made him really good by the time he was 10 years old. And when he would go play against kids his own age, they weren't shooting nearly as hard as I was. So we actually had a fun. I was his coach for those years, and we had a fun little intimidation game we would do before the games. I would go out and start shooting on him during warmups, and I would crush the ball and we would do it over and over until the other team was like all standing, just watching, like, what is going on?
Like, oh my God.
And the parents, and then I would say, okay, I think they're intimidated now. Let's play.
That's a good story, but it definitely has made you better. I played college basketball, and growing up, I had two older brothers, and my mom and dad always made me play with my older brothers and their friends. They're like that's the only thing that's going to make you like faster and stronger. I feel like the goalie might be the most pressured position. Like, how do you feel, Dad, having your son be the goalie?
If you ask my wife and me, you'd get two totally different answers. Um, I know it's a stressful position. Sometimes she can't watch the games.
Yeah, that would be me. I'm like,
My perspective is that, you know, mistakes are so important in life in general and sports and everything. And so I just, I don't care. I know that if he makes a mistake, um, you know, it's got to happen for him to learn. And he's smart. He doesn't make mistakes twice usually. And so I don't get that nervous. I mean, there have been games. His first game with Pipeline, he was playing it 1 year up, and they went to play Beach FC in Virginia Beach, and he made a huge mistake, and they lost the game 1-0. That was his first game with the new club as a younger guy, and it was tough. But I remember thinking, it's fine. You know, it's like you it kind of makes you tougher as a person. You know, the sooner you deal with that kind of frustration and learn how to bounce back, the better. And so, you know, they say over and over, you hear people say mistakes are so crucial to success. The faster you fail, the faster you learn. And so I wouldn't say I root for him to make mistakes, but when the ball is headed his way, I'm excited. I'm not scared. I'm like, here we go. You're either going to make an epic save or you're going to learn an epic lesson. And and then I think the second part of that is I just think it's so important to learn to play after the mistake and to bounce back. And I think most scouts and coaches look for that more than perfection anyway. So my advice to him is always, you know, make a mistake, shake it off. Literally, be a goldfish. It's like, and that's what matters. The coach doesn't care that you made the mistake. He cares about what you do in the next 10 minutes.
Lee, do you agree with that?
Yes,
Yeah, we say that to Liam all the time. That is so
like
important.
all the time. Even Dad.
Well, I think if you talk to, we have talked to Roark's coaches and scouts and things, and they all say it. You know, it's a normal thing. It's like you hear it so often now. It's like I look at the players who made a mistake, and then I follow them. You know, watch them after they made the mistake, see how they respond. You know, do they walk around sulking and kicking themselves, or do they go fight and win the ball back? And I think that's, and I don't know. I just think that's an analogy for life. It's like mistakes are good. I make mistakes all the time. This company might be a mistake, but it's like, but we're learning every single time. We're learning something, and then we apply it, and then we get stronger and better.
So, Rourke, how do you deal with setbacks or a mistake?
I don't know. I kind of have a weird personality where mistakes just don't really affect me. That's something that my coach told me at the end of the season, but I definitely think I just think about all the things that my coach and the scouts have told me and my dad, and that just like if you make a mistake, you just got to move on. And like one of the prime examples is that a few games into DC United, I made a bad mistake and I was basically dribbling, and then I got too close to my goal and the dude just touched it in. And then 2 minutes later, I healed it, like I did a heel pass to my player. And so I think after a mistake, you just got to be calm as possible, and try to forget about it.
I will say that's one time I was quite nervous because he got tackled in his own goal, irresponsible, holding the ball too long, and then he heel passed the ball with a guy right on him, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was too much. And there's like a national team scout there, and I was just like, oh. But his coach said, honestly, that was the greatest thing I've seen because, I want ice in your veins.
Ice in your veins. That's awesome advice. Ice in your veins. I think that's a good note to end on. You guys, thank you so much for coming on with us. This is so great to hear the parent perspective, the player perspective. I love what you said on setbacks, Roark. That is so cool. Liam and I both love what you guys are doing with Ringers football. Thank you. It's awesome. It's needed. It's small business. And of course, the mission behind it is wonderful too. So thank you guys.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having us. It was fun.
Of course. So whenever you come to New Jersey and play
against Red Bull, we're definitely coming.
Yeah, we definitely want to come watch and support.
We'll come up to the city at some point also, maybe this summer. So we'll hit you guys up. Maybe you're around.
Yeah.
For sure. Please do.
You can shoot on him a little bit.
It sounds like he's really good, Lee. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.